What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Moto Outsider. In this video, we are covering everything Haiden Deegan cleaning out Jordon Smith in the heat race, the 250 main event, Tomac's neck injury, Aaron Plessinger's heart rake, Cooper Webb now leading the 450 championship series. And if you stick around to the end of this video, we will tell you where we have been and more importantly, what's going on with our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. As always, though, I am joined by my beautiful long-haired co-host, Chris Baird. How are you, man?
I'm great, Matt. How are you today?
Dude, I can't complain. It's cold down here in Florida. Not nearly as cold as what you guys have up north. And I know you've been out west, but it's a chilly one down here, dude.
It is, and it's the first day of spring, I heard. So I don't know what's going on, but we need to turn the temperatures up a little bit, maybe crank the dial, because it was cold today.
Yeah, dude. But you want to know what was cold and who's got ice in their veins, because it ain't me. It's Haiden Deegan.
All right,
it's Haiden Deegan. What? First of all, his shoes are selling on MX Locker for like $700 right now. But number two, my dude cleaned out Jordon Smith in a heat race, and I know there was a nice exchange between some reporters after the race. But, dude, what were your thoughts on everything that took place in that 250 heat race and my man Deegan just going for it?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. Honestly, I respect the kid for battling. He's trying to get up there and prove himself. He's only 17. He's got a long time left in the sport, but he's trying to make a name for himself. I mean, not that his name's not already huge and blasted all over the internet every week, but yeah, I think the pass was a little bit, I guess you could say, immature. Something that did not need to be done. It was a heat race, and it's your teammate for one. I thought it was an interesting move of him, especially with him looking around and everything. Kind of weird. But I noticed too, I think I texted you about this, but I was watching one of their vlogs from a few weeks back. They were practicing at a sand track, him and Jordon actually, and he was faster than Jordon. He beat Jordon in one of their little scrimmage races. So I don't know anything. I'm not an insider there, but it seems to me that there might be some beef there, just Jordon being the veteran and Deegan being so young, so new. His shoes selling for $600. It says what people think about him. He's got a lot of fans out there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really on the fence. I love the rough racing, but it was just a weird move for a heat race.
Yeah, out of pocket for a heat race for sure. But honestly, man, we will never know what goes on behind the scenes. Like, what if, and a lot of the teams are going to keep this stuff under wraps, right? What if they had some words while they were practicing? What if they just don't get along? No one says teammates have to get along. At the end of the day, this is a business, right? So who knows what's going on behind the scenes? We will never know the full story. Was it out of pocket for a heat race? 100%. But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, racing's racing. I'm all for less restrictions than more. So if you want to clean someone out in a heat race, by all means do you, but you better be able to back that up in the main, right? So let's say Haiden Deegan leaves a door open for Jordon Smith to come in and smash him. Dude, it is what it is. You set that up. Now, of course, the team management has a responsibility to mitigate that, to make sure that the culture is good. There's not this clashing and everything going on. But to put a bow on that, dude, it was out of pocket for Deegan. It was out of pocket for a heat race, but I'm here for it, man.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'm here for the battles. It's hard because, Hunter brought up a really good point. Hunter actually stepped in when David Iser from DMXS was asking Haiden about, like the move, kind of just almost like implying it was kind of like a dumb move and like, why would you do that to a teammate? And, Hunter stepped up and was like, hey, man, you guys are so quick to judge us into, just everything we do.
And can I touch on this for 1 second? I just wanted to point something out which it amazes me. So much of the people on social media where everyone puts their expertise in, say, the racing back in the 90s, early 2000s, like where men were men, they always talk about how gnarly it was. And then anytime a block pass or something happens now, everyone cries about it. That's just kind of a bit interesting. It's either, pick one. You either want the gnarly block passes from 10 years ago, and then when you get it, everyone makes a big song and dance about it. So that's my perspective. I think it's a bit funny how that works.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. Take what you want. Everyone's easy to point the finger. We're out there making decisions at split millisecond. People have all month to pay their phone bill and they still can't do that on time. So we're making decisions at such a fast reaction, adrenaline. And everyone, not just saying it for me or Haiden or speak for all the guys. No one's perfect, and we're under a microscope out there. So the media is really quick to point the finger when someone makes a mistake.
I see that point, but it's a heat race, and sure, there might be bonuses on the line, but It's not a main event. So I just thought it was interesting.
Me too, man. And like, this is why you and that whole exchange on the press, the post-race press, is the reason why you and I are doing this. Yep. I am annoyed, and by no means, I didn't even make it past B class. I know you rode A class and had way more talent than me on a bike. But dude, I am sick of these guys who have never been on a bike, never sat in the driver's seat of a car, never did anything competitive, yet you're going to criticize those doing the competition. I don't agree with that, and that's why you and I are doing this, man, because we are admitting to the fact that we're outsiders, but we're keeping it fair and unbiased. These dudes with the media passes just have these corny questions and ways of going about doing things. Who cares? Like, you can tell they really wanted Haiden to trip up and say, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That's my bad. They were trying to make a headline out of him, and this is where I think Brian Deegan's going to be amazing as a coach and a father, because he's going to be like, son, they're going to try to set you up. They're going to make you look stupid. They're going to try to do everything they can, to throw you off, and I think he was prepared for it. So to get off that soapbox, I think it was good. But, dude, let's talk about the 250 main. Hunter Lawrence, the kid's a stud, just like his brother. But, Nate Thrasher was up there with his injury, man. What were your thoughts on the 250 main?
I mean, you can't say it was very exciting, right? It wasn't that crazy. It was kind of fun watching J-Mart try to hold off Deegan for a little bit. But, yeah, there's not too much, not too much happened. Hunter led every lap. I believe he did the same thing at Indy last weekend. So, yeah, Hunter's just on his game right now, and he looks like the favorite absolutely to win that title. He hasn't really made any mistakes at all. Hasn't gotten bad starts in a long time. I don't know. Unfortunately, with Thrasher's injury, we don't really know where he's at and where he could be if he was fully healthy. So it's been a pretty good season. Good racing. They have 4 weeks off. It was nice to see Chris Bloss get a 5th overall. It was his best finish of the season. The dinosaur, as you call him, actually got up there.
Baby. Mr. Consistent.
The field's really thinned out too. If you look at it, no one's really talked about it, but Chance Hymas hasn't been there. I don't know where he's been. A lot of those Phoenix Honda guys are in the top 10, which is cool. So all in all, good main event. Kind of boring, not super exciting. Can't say the same thing about the 450 main event, but just watching Hunter run away with this thing is what we're doing, I think.
For sure. So, I mean, dude, you know what? That throws us right into the 450, so let's run it. Tomac's neck injury wasn't really getting a lot of press, I don't think, or maybe it was. But, he admitted to it in the, I think it was his post-race interview as well, dealing with some neck pain or something like that. What are your thoughts on what's going on with Tomac? Because I don't know if the season's starting to slip, but my man is not, pulling a Ryan Dungey and just checking out.
Oh man, I'm a little nervous, being a Tomac fan my whole life. Yeah. And you try to, like, obviously we're not in the position to have to be, unbiased. Like, we can have fans and all that. And I love, Tomac's just riding style. And I'm a little worried. He just hasn't looked like himself. The neck injury seems like a weird, I wouldn't call it an excuse. Maybe he really does, but it's just a weird thing to wake up with. But I guess that's part of being in your 30s, right? He's getting old. But he just hasn't had the mid-race push that he usually does, especially at the end of the race. He's lucky that he only lost 2 points this weekend, and it's only, a 3-point gap, because he can win and get the plate back. But, yeah, not looking good for Eli right now.
No, not looking good for Eli, but, dude, looking even worse for Aaron Plessinger. That I was pulling for Plessinger hard, man. I really was. And to see him stuff his foot and his foot peg in that rut and just get ejected. But he had the most graceful tuck going into the face of that jump. And I'm sure was stung up and just stunned too, not only just overwhelmed with emotion, but man, Plessinger just getting the shit end of the stick on that deal was a bummer in that race for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to cheer for AP with him being so patriotic, and
100%.
I mean, everyone who's American is a fan of AP, no matter what.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
You put that to the side, and he's just he's a character, and I just like to see him do well. He's had some rough injuries. I remember Daytona a few years back when he messed up his ankle, and it just has not gone well for him since he's moved up to the 450 class. We saw him doing really well at Unadilla a couple years ago, battling Ken Roxon for the lead, and he looped out. Like, he just has the worst luck. It's not like Sexton level, I don't think. Like, Sexton's had some really bad races this season. He's been up there and fighting and just improving every week. Right. I'm really stoked for the guy. Just one of those things, I almost think he was probably more focused on just finishing that race than he was anything else, and he just had a foot pad drag, and that was it. It was over for him. So his speed is up there. He's riding well. People were talking about it in a couple other podcasts I listened to today, and he really held his own. Like, it wasn't like everybody else was sucking or battling and like slowing themselves up. The battles were still going fast. Everybody was moving forward. He just took away. So I think he was the best guy last night.
I think he was too. And the kid was cruising, and he had a big enough gap to the point where it was undeniable, and that's why I was pumped on it. And like I think he said this in his post race interview too, with the tears coming down his face. He was like, the one time that I wanted to stand up in that rut was when my foot gets clipped, and that was it. So he knew he made the mistake. It's like, can you only imagine as he's front flipping through the air off the bike, like what's going through his head, knowing that he just tossed the race. Dude, it sucks, but like I was pulling for him because obvious, dude's an American hero for Supercross essentially.
Yeah, man, it was literally a heartbreak. In his interview, like I saw so many comments on Instagram, but literally like, who was cutting onions in the room at that moment? Like that was hard to watch. Me even being a grown man, like holy, like I feel for that guy. That's sad, but he's all heart all the time. I love that about him. I can't imagine the feeling. It's something that Sexton has definitely been through a lot, and he's talked about it in his interview too. Like, keep your head high. Don't let it bother you, because that can bring you down a really dark hole. Get thrown away. 2 laps to go. So,
right. Yeah,
if I could talk to AP, I'd probably give him a big hug and say, "Hey, man, do it again next weekend, because you got it, buddy. You're good. You're right there. So close."
Man. Then just have a beer with him. Call it a day, because I'm sure he'd love it. But dude,
yeah.
All right, so let's wrap up the 450s. Cooper Webb, my dude's leading the championship right now. It's pretty thin, but going back to a previous video we uploaded earlier in the season, dude, Cooper Webb comes out of nowhere, and here he is. What are your thoughts on Coop?
Yeah, Coop's being Coop is all I can really say. His title years, this is exactly what he did. He was in it all the time. He was ahead of Tomac when he needed to be. He's just, these passes he makes blow my mind. The pass he made on Tomac did not even make sense, like with the line that Tomac was taking. The way he went up that inside and just cut him off, and it just makes me wonder where he comes from sometimes. But I still think he's one of the most mentally tough guys out there, out of everybody. Like, put all the speed and everything aside, like he's got the mental stuff figured out. It's fun to watch.
Definitely.
And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be dangerous if Tomac doesn't get good starts, because he's been getting really good starts as of late, and he's got a good chance to run away with this the way things have been going. So I can't say that we necessarily called this, but we did say that he's looking good for him, right? I think we kind of predicted this. Yeah. Unfortunately, again, being a Tomac fan, but I like Cooper's riding style. I'm really it's cool to watch him put this together. He's got like 1 or 2 wins now, and Tomac's got 5 and leading the title. So that's all it takes.
Exactly, man. And with the rounds boiling down, it's gonna be fun to see how everything wraps up too, especially with where Roxon's at. You and I have a video coming out about Roxon soon, so guys, stick around for that. But there's, especially with Barsha battling up front more consistently too. It's just fun. It's been fun to watch the 450s lately. So we're pumped on that. So guys, but as promised though, if you stuck around to the end of this video, we're going to discuss where we've been and the lack of videos we've updated. So Chris, you've got a lot of explaining to do, my friend.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Are we just here for a little bit?
Chris, where have you been, man? No, I mean, I know it's you were doing the Mint 400 out in Vegas, and you've been traveling, training, doing all that stuff. So, dude, how's the Vegas trip? How's the Mint 400 and everything like that?
Yeah, Vegas trip was good. My other quote unquote full-time job is I'm a cameraman for a professional ghost hunter, and call myself a ghost hunter as well. So we did a bunch of that and explored some cool places. But the Mint 400 is, if you guys have never heard of it, it's the Great American Off-Road Race in Primm, Nevada, just a little bit south of Las Vegas. Look it up, look into it. 4 laps of chaos, hell, just brutal track. I've never ridden or driven in anything that insane. I don't even know how to describe it other than it was like 10 hours in the trophy truck, and I was sick. That was the worst part about it. I had a cold and I was losing my voice, and navigating without a voice is not easy. So all in all, craziest, roughest course I've ever been on. Most fun I've ever had in a race, and I cannot wait for next year, because trophy truck racing is just so different than dirt bikes, and hopefully I can race the dirt bike and the trophy truck next year. That'd be my ultimate goal. But it was a good trip, and I'm glad to be back. It sucks not making videos, and ready to get back on this grind again. I missed it.
No, for sure. And guys, like we've been trying to put time on the schedule to get these videos done, and it's just been tough with my schedule, doing what I'm doing and everything.
Yeah, what you been doing? Where you been?
No, man, I've just been building some of the side projects that I'm working on, and I do real estate full time down here in Florida. So thankfully, that's picking up too. So just life happens. This isn't our full time job yet, but when it becomes our full time job, it's gonna be awesome. But we want to thank you guys for sticking around with us throughout, being patient, waiting for that next upload. We are still doing our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So when we reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, we are giving away a $100 gift card or a rider replica jersey of your choice to whichever you prefer. Once we hit 1,000 subs, we've already shipped out one jersey. Michael Powell, your jersey's on the way, bro. And then number 2, the 1,000 subscriber winner is going to be announced hopefully relatively soon. So feel free to subscribe, guys. Doesn't cost a dime, right, Chris?
It's very free, very easy. It's a fun giveaway, and it's just something to give back to you guys for showing us all the support so far. It's been a crazy first month and a half, and it's going to be a long road for us. We're not going anywhere. Even if we take 3 weeks off, we're not done for good. I promise you that.
No, that's it. We're not going nowhere. In the words of like the Wolf of Wall Street, we're not fucking leaving. So that's
My God.
that's a fact. But Chris, as always, bro, thank you so much for taking the time to record with us. And then, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because that giveaway could be yours once we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. So thanks for sticking around. Chris, give us a wrap up with some final thoughts.
Yeah, excited for Seattle this weekend. Get ready for that, guys. Could be a soft track if the weather's not good, and we get to see the West Coast guys again. Jet is back. Going to be some crazy action. Thank you all so much for all the love and support. I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to be filming for you guys. Thank you, Matt, for putting up with my BS and not being around the past few weeks. So it's hard making these schedules work, filming with 2 people. It's not easy. So yeah, just thanks to everybody, and there's more coming, I promise.
That's it. All right, guys, thanks so much for sticking around. We will see you in the next video.